two of the biggest names in Speedway, the current world champion Bruce Pennell and the former champion Ollie Olsen. And what a weekend for them. First of all, they captain their British League teams in a very important meeting. That's Cradley and Coventry respectively. And then they lead their countries in the World Team Cup final at London's White City. Those teams, of course, America and Denmark. But it's this meeting, the British League meeting between two great rivals, Coventry and Cradley, that we bring you in this programme. Cradley, of course, the reigning British League champions and the current leaders. Coventry in third place. Cradley going so well for the Grand Slam, and they need really, technically, 3 more away wins, and that includes this one, to make sure that they'll be the British League champions. They do have matches in hand, and they should win it. For Coventry, well, this one really is vital. If they lose this one, they won't have any chance of beating Cradley to that British title. Well, let's see how the meeting goes now with our commentator, Dave Lanning.
Yes, traditional rivals indeed in the Midlands, and there is Ollie Olsen, who has been such a feature of them. It's worth remembering that this is the 35th season of Speedway here at Brandon. This is the 20th meeting between these two clubs, and indeed the first ever British League fixture was between Coventry and Cradley Heath on this track back in 1965. Since then, Coventry have had 14 wins and Cradley have won 3 times, but they've won on the last 2 occasions they've been here. So they're looking for a hat-trick of victories against the Bees in league fixtures here at Brandon, whereas the home side have twice beaten Cradley this year, and as the Heathens have only lost 2 of their British League fixtures, they've been in really sparkling form. The Bees too are seeking a hat-trick of victories against Cradley. So both sides going for hat-tricks of different varieties, and there's one of the riders who assuredly will have a say in which one is successful. Bruce Pennell, of course, the Cradley skipper, caused a minor sensation this weekend already by an outburst which you saw on central television relating to safety on tracks. Bruce on the verge of an important announcement. He has a big press conference in London in the West End tomorrow morning about his future. Of course, defends his World Championship title in Los Angeles on the 28th. We'll be seeing that exclusively on ITV. And he led the Heathens to a famous victory here last year, the biggest ever they ran up. It was 52-26, and it virtually clinched the title for them. We wonder if they can repeat it again tonight. Conditions look good. It's a bit overcast. Rain has been forecast, but Charles Ochiltree and this immaculate organisation here at Brandon will get on with the action. Here is the lineup for Heat 1. On the inside, Olsen. Next to him, Phil Collins in yellow and black. Grid 3 has this new signing for Coventry from Denmark. Sam Nicolaisen has been impressive, though he's only a little lad, only 4'11". On the outside, Bruce Pennell, just adjusting his visor. So we just remind you, it's 13 heats, 4 laps per race. Here is the lineup. Olsen on the inside, next to him Phil Collins. Grid 3, Nicolaisen. On the outside, Bruce Pennell. Here we go for heat number 1 of what could be a most crucial and exciting British League fixture. On the inside, it is Olsen who gets to jump up to the corner. Pennell's after him in 3rd place. It is Collins with Nicolaisen at the back, but Olsen leads it for the Bees. 2nd place, Pennell. 3rd is Collins. And now the battle is on between Pennell and Olsen, 2 world champions. Pennell, the reigning title holder. Ollie Olsen, that's 36. Just about the elder statesman on parade here this evening. Still looking pretty lively. And he is shaking Pennell off. Style of the Great Dane, who had to withstand some thrusts from Pennell. They're into the last lap here at Brandon. It's 350 metres around, and Pennell has not stopped fighting. We all know his competitiveness, and here he comes. Well, after sparing a bit around the outside, Olsen will be aware of him, and as they go over the line, it's Olsen by about a length. 2nd place, Pennell. 3rd was Collins, so that was a divided heat, 3 to each team, and it could hardly be better poised here after just 1 race. And we are reminded, while we said this last year, I seem to recollect that Cradley came out and absolutely walked away with the reserve races. Let's see what happens this year. On the inside, it's Andy Reid, a Lancastrian the Heathens acquired from Glasgow. Had an unlucky season, broke a wrist early on, only just really back and not really finding his feet yet. Charlie McKenna's in grid 2, their former teammates. Jan Werner, Czechoslovakian signing from Swindon for the Heathens in grid 3, and on the outside Kevin Hawkins, who might well be a match winner for Coventry. Kevin Hawkins, of course, has been a match winner, and indeed I recollect was Coventry's match winner at Cradley earlier this year. So here we go, heat 2, 3 to each team, the points is divided, and away they go from the inside. It is McKenna, and so too it is Hawkins. It's Hawkins that leads it in second place. It is now Jan Werner and McKenna and Reid locked together for the third place battle. Here's Hawkins. Well, we rather felt he might find Heat 2 to his liking. And now the Heathens have moved up into second and third place, and Coventry must look to McKenna, and Werner's in trouble in second place. This is Hawkins a mile clear. We have lost Jan Werner. So moving into second place, it's Reid with McKenna in third place as they move into the last lap of heat number 2. Here's Hawkins. You can see the way they spread themselves out here in heat 2. Hawkins wins it. Second place was Reid. Third was McKenna, so a 4-2 heat advantage. That pushes Coventry up front, even though perhaps it was a little fortuitous. So there is the lineup for heat 3. On the inside, Tommy Knudsen from Coventry. Next to him, Alan Graham, grid 3, Gary Guglielmi, and on the outside, Lance King in white. So the score 7-5. This one really should be quite explosive. Knudsen on the inside, next to him Graham. Grid 3 has Guglielmi, and on the outside it is King. And Knudsen it is who hits the corner in front, and so too is Guglielmi gone with him. And it's Coventry 1-2 at the moment, and Graham going after them. And Graham with some work to do now as Guglielmi leads it. The big tough Sydney-sider in front. Second place is Knudsen, and the Heathens are trailing. You can see the battle there, and Guglielmi, as we mentioned, in excellent form recently, must be boosted by his success in the Midland Riders Championship, maintaining that form. Knudsen's tucked in second place, and Graham, for all his thrusting and all his forcefulness and all his aggression, isn't really making much ground. These fans, they must be feeling they've been overshadowed as Kings of the Midlands by the Heathens in the last season or so. Enjoying this at the moment. Guglielmi is going to win it looking back. Second place Knudsen. Third was Alan Graham, so that's a 5-1 for Coventry. Takes them into a 6-point lead, 12-6 early, and they could hardly have asked for a better start.
Gary Guglielmi, what a start to the meeting this is, a 12-6 lead against Cradley.
Yeah, well, anything can happen, you know. 12-6 isn't really much. We've only sort of had 3 heats. So there's a lot more of the meeting to go yet. Anything can happen, you know. It's happened before.
Well, you had a tremendous 1-2 there. Let's have a look at the start of the race. Can you take us through it, start of that heat?
Yeah, well, I don't know, really. I kind of thought, I was watching the previous starts, and I realised that the referee had been holding them for a little bit. So when the green light came on, I didn't automatically hold me thing flat, you know, the bike. I just waited a split second, and then I really gave it some, and the tapes just happened to go up at the right time, and I've been playing around with this engine, you know, and it just seems to be quite good out there. So, you know, I can't explain really, mate. It's one of those things.
Sounded pretty good. Well done. Thank you.
Inside then, Gunderson. Next to him, McKenna blue. Grid 3 has Werner, and on the outside, Shearer. Here we go for heat number 4. And Gunderson's got away from the inside, and so too from the outside has come Mitch Shearer. In third place it is Werner, and Shearer has gone around the outside of Gunderson, and the bees, it must be said, are buzzing a bit. Shearer in front. Gunderson has lost his helmet colour, but he is in second place. In third place it is Werner, with McKenna way at the back for Coventry. Mitch Shearer, of course, who had an unhappy start to his season in contest with the Coventry management over terms for the first weeks of the season, seems to be getting really back into his top form at the moment. He certainly has gone past the Midland Riders Championship as well as you please, and now he is stretching away here in Heat 4. Around the last two corners, Shearer is going to win it. Gunderson is second. In third place it's Werner, so points divided, and Coventry hang on to that 6-point advantage. Going out for heat number 5 with Cradley in just a bit of trouble. They've only lost 2 league matches this year. Their record right at this moment, they played 16, won 14, lost 2. They've got 28 points, 2 clear of Bellevue Manchester, although the Aces have ridden a couple of matches more. Coventry in third place, they have 24 points from 19 matches. So Cradley at the moment will be looking and wondering and pondering if changes may have to be made. It is interesting that they've yet to have a heat winner, and they've got 3 10-point average riders, so their top liners hardly on song as of yet. The lineup for heat number 5: on the inside, Phil Collins, 1 point in his first outing. Next to him, Gary Guglielmi, such an impressive race winner, first time out. And indeed, they have changed around. They have seemed to have changed around good positions. Have a look across the lineup again. On the inside, it is Phil Collins. Next to him, Tommy Knudsen in red. Grid 3 has Bruce Pennell in white. And on the outside, Gary Guglielmi, such an impressive race winner, first time out. Heat number 5, the score: Coventry 15, Cradley 9. The Heathens looking to Bruce Pennell perhaps to pick him up off the floor. They're a little bit down at the moment. Here we go. Heat number 5. Oh, and they were impatient. And Knudsen was almost tempted through the tapes. And again, Pennell is anxious to get on with the action, and so too is Guglielmi. You can almost feel them straining as away they go this time. And from the inside, it is Knudsen. And where is Pennell? Pennell is on the outside, and creeping around the line has come Phil Collins, and they're ducking and diving and weaving all over the place. It's Collins who shows. In second place now, it is Guglielmi. And Pennell trying to get through on the inside, and this is super Speedway. Still, it is Collins now levelling out. It's Guglielmi in second place, third place Pennell, and at the back Knudsen. And we have the remarkable spectacle of the riders who were first and third in last year's World Final, trailing in third and fourth places here. Collins in front, second place Guglielmi under some pressure from Pennell, and at the back Knudsen. It's Phil Collins. Now, of course, he is no slouch, we know this, and this is where the battle is for second place. And Pennell must make his effort. Look, there's the old dirt track, leg trailing style, and he'll make a bid now, and Guglielmi can't afford to hang around. Here comes Bruce Pennell trying to find the drive, and he hasn't really ridden a good corner there. It's a win for Collins. Guglielmi has held out the world champion. A 4-2 heat win, though, for Cradley. Well, that was Cradley's first heat win of the evening. It means progressively they are now 4 behind, Coventry on 17 points, Cradley Heath the champions closing in on 13.
Bruce Pennell, what about that heat from your point of view?
Not very good, obviously. No, we pulled a point back there. Phil did well to get through. There's just not much passing going on. It's really hard, you know, from the back here, but that's the way it is. You know, everybody's got the same chance.
You said there's no passing. In fact, there was quite a bit of passing at the beginning of the heat, as we can show you now. Perhaps you can take us through it, Bruce.
Okay. Well, we're all kind of messing about at the start, including myself, but I didn't get too bad of a start, and I was more or less trying to concentrate on Gary up high and thought about Phil underneath us. And Tommy took me a little bit wide, nothing too drastically, and Phil got through there, and I was kind of up too high there, and Gary Guglielmi got through a very good pass there, and I just happened to go around him in that one corner. But it was a pretty exciting heat for about a lap, but then everybody seemed to settle down a little bit, and we stayed the way we were.
Well, it's quite a start by Coventry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, we didn't expect it to be an easy match tonight, and it's going to continue on that way. we hope to pull back a few more points. We're not scoring like we normally do, but that's the breaks. We hope we get them. Thanks.
Well, here's heat 6 coming up, and it's Eric Gunderson on the inside in white. Next to him, Sam Nicolaisen, who hasn't scored yet. He's in blue. Grid 3 has Andy Reid. He's a fast starter, this lad, in yellow and black from Cradley on the outside. Ole Olsen, who looked in vintage form in his opening ride. So it's 17-13. Cradley desperate to pull back. Here we go, heat number 6. Oh, Gunderson's got away well, and so too on the outside is Olsen, but Gunderson is who clearly leads. In second place is Nicolaisen, and Olsen going high and trying to find the drive, but unable to do so. Here's Gunderson in front, so 3 Danes with Andy Reid at the back. Gunderson again has lost his helmet colour. It really is a point in Speedway that many viewers have spoken to us and written to us about. It does seem incredible in this technological age when we can put men on the moon. We can't find helmet colours that will stay on for more than a lap. Certainly Gunderson in front. He should be in white. Second place is Nicolaisen. Good ride from the wee Dane. And Olsen content to sit back in third place and contain Andy Reid. They're into the last lap. There's Gunderson, looking a little bit more like it. Had a, well, not a too impressive second place first time out. He's led this one from start. And he's within sight of the finishing post now. Gunderson takes it. Second place was Nicolaisen. Third was Olsen. Again, the points were shared, and that still means that Coventry 4 in front. Well, just watch the start from Eric Gunderson on the inside. It's an absolute storybook start. You can see there he stood to the back wheels spinning. He's absolutely dead in synchronization with the tapes going up. He's got his nose in front at the first corner, and from that moment there was no holding him. Let's have a look across the line in heat 7 on the inside. Shearer, race winner first time out. Next to him Lance King from Cradley, disappointingly last in his first outing. Grid 3, a reserve replacement coming in, replacing fellow reserve Charlie McKenna. It's Kevin Hawkins, who looked good winning heat 2. And on the outside, Alan Graham, who could only manage 1 point from his opening ride. So heat 7, Cradley looking to Alan Graham to pick him up. He was a maximum man in this fixture last year. Second behind brother Andy in the British final, so there's nothing about Brandon he doesn't know. You can see him doing a bit of gardening there. Just trying to dig out with an extra drive and grip from the starting gate. Just now, just relieving the heat from the clutch plates, spinning it round, settling himself down, waiting for Mitch Shearer. You can see there, moving into grid 1. They're going to settle now. Shearer on the inside, next to him King. Grid 3 has Hawkins. On the outside, it is Alan Graham. It's 2016, only 4 in it. And here we go for heat number 7. And it's Shearer, and it is Hawkins, and it's the Bees again who are in front. Shearer leads. In second place, it is Kevin Hawkins. And in third place, it is Lance King, and Alan Graham seems to have lost his gating touch completely. He's moved up into third place, but they took a 5-1 off him in his opening ride. And oh my goodness, Hawkins in terrible trouble there, and has allowed both the Heathens to go through. He just overcooked the corner, and that's all the league champions need. They just saw their moment. Kevin Hawkins will rue that moment of carelessness, because what looked like being a maximum heat win for Coventry has now been split and divided. And unless Hawkins can get up into the last lap, I don't think he's going to do. That's the way it's going to stay. That could be a crucial and costly slip for Coventry. Shearer, well, the little Kiwi looking back at his best. He wins heat 7. In second place it was Graham. In third place it was Lance King. Last was Kevin Hawkins, obviously kicking himself. It meant it was a divided heat. It meant the score stay with a 4-point difference, 23 to Coventry, 19 to Cradley. There is the score. We're at the halfway stage. We're going to take a short break. It's bound to be a super second half. We'll see you in just a couple of moments. Yes, welcome back to Brandon Stadium for the second part of this entertaining British League fixture between Coventry and the reigning British League champions Cradley Heath. Well, it's just 4 points difference at the halfway mark, and young Kevin Hawkins must be regretting his moment of carelessness there in the last race. Just watch it, he's in second place there in blue, got the two Heathens, and he just overcooked it and just missed out for a moment, and that was the opportunity that both Heathens needed. Straight through Graham first, then King, and that one is one which will haunt Master Hawkins.
Kevin Hawkins, what happened when you drifted out there?
Well, Mitch made a terrific start and I got out the track with him. He was on a 5-1. I thought I'd just try and sit as close to Mitch as I could and just cover him. We got a 5-1 on, but things didn't quite work out. I was fractionally wider than Mitch, and I picked up just that little bit too much drive, and it took me out of the fence because I had to shut the throttle off quick. I should have been through the fence, and that let the other two chaps by. They was buying a flash, I was only shut down for about half a second, and that was, the end of the race, really. I was just chasing dirt the rest of the race.
You've got to hope those points don't count.
Hope so, yeah.
Result.
We'll try our best to make up for them after now in the rest of the meeting.
Well, heat 8, and let's see if those inside and outside watered gates may make a difference. There's the lineup on the inside, Phil Collins. Next to him, Sam Nicolaisen. Grid 3 has Jan Werner. On the outside, Kevin Hawkins, doing 2 races on the trot. And he'll be keen not to lose concentration again as he did in heat number 7. Here we go, heat 8, Collins, the thoroughbred amongst this quartet, and he is on the inside, and there's been an awful lot of points scored from gate number 1 this evening. And it is again from the outside, Hawkins and Collins from the inside. There they are, peeling off down the back straight. In front, Phil Collins. Second place is Hawkins. Third is Nicolaisen. And the tigering style, so characteristic of all the Collins brothers. Remember, there's 4 of them in Speedway at the moment, and another one coming along this month. Phil Collins is a spectacular sight at full cry. There he is. Certainly is a fast racing track here at Brown this evening. When a rider gets in front and makes his own line, he can really cut up the pace. That's why it's difficult to pass. It has been said before, perhaps the track here at Coventry is too good. Well, we've seen some super racing. I don't hold with that theory at all. There's Collins going to win it by the length of the straight. Second place was Hawkins for Coventry, third with Nicolaisen. So the Bees still shared the points and still stay 4 in front. Well, here's Gary Guglielmi, and this muscular Antipodean really has been something of a revelation for the Bees this evening. He has 5 points to his credit, a win and a second place. And with Cradley now looking more and more towards the experience and the inspiration of Bruce Pennell and Gunderson and Alan Graham, their big 3 heat leaders. Gunderson's on heat 9 on the outside there in the white helmet colour. He has 5 points, the Midland Riders champion, and Cradley's effort really must come pretty quickly. Let's have a look at the lineup for heat 9. On the inside, Tommy Knudsen. Well, he has got a second place and a last. Next to him we have Andy Reid in yellow and black. Grid 3 has Guglielmi. On the outside it's Gunderson. There they are settling down. 26-22, still wide open, but Cradley will need to start picking up some heat wins. They need to start anchoring, and they need to start picking up some odd points at the back as well. So they're the team with it all to do at heat 9. Here we go. And they're all bunching up for the first corner. It's Knudsen who shows. Here comes Gunderson around the outside. Gunderson sweeping around the field. He's in front. Knudsen second. Guglielmi is third. Well, there was an uncanny predictability about the move of Eric Gunderson. Certainly never made the gate, but he is a real devil at getting around the outside. Keeps the throttle open and terrific control, and the Danes in command here, and Knudsen almost overcooked that corner. Here's Gunderson, second place Knudsen still, third place Guglielmi. So the Bees ensuring that Cradley gain no advantage from heat number 9, although Gundersen looks as though he's well set. Again, the two Danes in front. There's a fairly large contingent of Danish fans here at Brandon enjoying the action this evening. They're over for today's World Cup final at White City, London. Taking the opportunity to see their Danish stars in domestic speedway. A win for Gundersen, but the Bees packing in behind him. Knudsen was second, Guglielmi was third. Points divided, still 4 points between them.
Erik Gundersen, time is starting to run out now, heats are starting to run out, and it's getting very difficult for Cradley. You can't close the gap.
No, it seems like it's going to be a really hard and tough match tonight. We're still only 4 points behind, you know, and I think we can pull it back now. The last remaining heats, you know, we've got really hard pairings, you know.
So the trouble is you can't get your two together. Someone's winning and then someone's coming last.
That's right,
or
it's like,
whatever.
just like, well, that's what Speedway is all about, you know. The heats are all split, you know. 3 3s or 4 2s, you know, and it seems like it's a really good match, you know, and that's what we all expected as well.
Well, it was very important that you got past Tommy Knudsen at the beginning. Let's show you quickly the beginning, because this was so important to Cradley that you got ahead.
I reared a bit coming out of the start, you know, and luckily I got the run on Gary Guglielmi, and I just hit the dirt, you know, around on the outside and past Tommy, and I had a good run down the back straight, and that was it. I was lucky to be out in the dirt so I could do that.
Okay, that was an important
it was really important, you know, to get that heat split.
Okay, but you still think Cradley got a chance here?
I think we have, you know. We're trying all of us hard, really, you know.
Heat 10 then, with Alan Graham on the inside for Cradley in yellow and black. Next to him, Ollie Olsen. Grid 3 has Lance King, and the Coventry team manager, Vic White, bringing in Kevin Hawkins, his reserve, hopefully to gain something from Heat 10, replacing Sam Nicolaisen. And we remember that Hawkins looked set to gain a second place last time against this pairing, and just lost momentary control and allowed both of them to slip past. I wonder if he can make amends for that error here in Heat 10. It's getting towards the boiling point of this British League match. You can see by the time it takes them to settle down that the tension is beginning to creep in. Fancy we have some fairly enthralling speedway to come before the final checkered flag on this particular British League match. Inside Graham, next to him we have Olsen, grid 3 King, on the outside Hawkins in the blue helmet colour. 4 points in it. This is heat number 10. And Alan Graham has hit the front this time. Graham is through. In second place it's Olsen, and the crucial third point is Lance King, and the red lights are on. Referee John Eccles not happy with that start. It should be all 4 back in, but that is not a popular decision. The crowd are muttering. Let's have a look at it again very quickly. Well, the referee John Eccles says that it was Hawkins who got squeezed out at the first corner, and that's the reason he stopped it. Let's have a look. Well, it's pretty rough treatment from King. Some would say that was first bend bunching, some would say it was unfair. The referee is the man with the whistle, and he's not happy. There is Lance King getting a fair bit of stick from the Coventry crowd, who obviously weren't happy with his somewhat ruthless treatment at the first corner. But in fairness, it's a tough old sport, and it is every man for himself once the old tapes go. Well, Cradley were first and third when the race was stopped, and I'm sure they will feel more than aggrieved if they don't at least do that in the restart. Let's look at him again. On the inside is Alan Graham. First time he's hit the traps all night. Next to him is Ollie Olsen. Grid 3 has Lance King. On the outside it's Kevin Hawkins. And you can almost feel the tension beginning to build here. You can put your fingers out and just about touch it. It's very exciting. Here we go then for the second time of asking, Heat 10. That's a marvellous picture again as off they go, and again Graham has hit the front. Second place is Olsen. Hawkins is third. Or is he? No, Lance King I think has just got the drop, or has he? Difficult to see from this angle. So hit the pit corner. It is Olsen drifting wide to try and look for Hawkins, and that's allowed young Master King through, and that was brave cornering from Lance King, and now he's boldly and audaciously challenging Ollie Olsen. Alan Graham in front. Olsen in second place, King is third, Hawkins is last. And this is where they stood when the race was initially stopped. And Olsen has really got to get a move on. Otherwise, Lance King might well cause more than a sensation. Here's Graham in control into the last lap. And Olsen's in trouble right there by the second bend. There seems to be a little bit of extra drive there. Going over the line, a win for Graham. Second place is Olsen. Third was King, an important third place. So a 2 points advantage there from Cradley. They win that one 4-2, and it means just 2 points on difference and just 3 races to go.
Well, Ollie Olsen, 31-29 to Coventry and just 3 heats to go.
Yeah, very close match, Gary, and as I've said to you before, that Speedway's never decided before the checkered flag's out for the last heat, and it's going to be one of them tonight as well. But very good match, and we're enjoying it. It's been tremendous Speedway, and that's what it's all about. Good crowd and everything, and they're good, very good side, so we've got to nip this one, and I think we'll do it.
Well, you give me a lot of stick about predictions. When I've written you off a few times, now you're in front by 2 points, but your gap has, the gap has narrowed. Are you going to hang on?
You don't write us off now, Gary, do you? What side are you on?
No, I'm not writing you off. I'm asking you what's going to happen.
No, it's well, we'll be there. We got to be there because we want to win. That's what it's all about, and so do they, of course. But as long as it's a good match, and I think we'll pivot in the end.
You've got to win this one to stay in the British League title hunt, haven't you?
That's right. We've got to win this to do a bit of hunting, and that's what we aim to do.
Thank you, Ollie.
Cheers, Gary.
And there's Pennell, who really has not had perhaps the happiest of seasons. Uneasy rest ahead, so they say, that wears the crown. It certainly has applied to Bruce Pennell. He can apply himself and find that extra piece of resolve and resilience. Just look at the time it's taken them to settle. That's always a sign that the adrenaline's pumping. Right, settle. Here we go for Heat 11. Vital that Coventry hang on. And Hawkins, obviously unhappy, is pointing to something now. He's been on a 2-minute warning, and he really cannot go on like this. The referee, John Iglesias, I'm sure, will run out of patience, and Hawkins gesticulating frantically there. And he's got about 3 seconds to get going. And there's Ollie Olsen. In fact, it's 30 seconds he's got. And Olsen, they really are running a road. Well, this is getting to be an unexpected piece of drama. And there, he has not beaten the warning. Well, that really is an indication just how this local derby is beginning to bubble over. I just can't imagine what's the matter with Hawkins. Gary Newbon's down there in the pits. I know he'll try and step in and find out the trouble.
What's the problem, Kevin? What's the problem, Kevin?
No, there, it just keeps cutting out on the start. It's no good letting the race start because the bike was going to pack up on the start line.
So, just turning you around, what's going to happen now? Are you out of this race?
Yeah, I've been excluded on 2 minutes, but I wanted another bike, you see, but they weren't quite quick enough because I was already on 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Well, it's got to be Charlie McKenna to come in. That's the only move that the Bees can make. And what a time for young McKenna to be called into the action. And here is McKenna. So McKenna comes in. Of course, Hawkins replaced him early on, and now he's returning the compliment. I must say, in all honesty to the lad, it will be a surprise if he can get up here. He's in with the world champion and Phil Collins, British finalist, and the unbeaten Mitch Shearer. Here's Shearer, so much rests on those slender shoulders now for Coventry. He really must keep in front here. There's Pennell. He knows that a heat advantage for Cradley can pull them back level or indeed push them in front here. Pennell has the knack of peaking exactly the right moment, of finding his true touch just when it counts. And it must be said, this is the right moment for it here in this fixture. Heat 11, the restart. Shearer on the inside. He'll have to really move like a scolded cat out of trap 1. Grid 2 has Phil Collins, who's won his last 2 races. Grid 3 has the raw-boned figure of Charlie McKenna, this Scot, who's got 1 point so far, and it certainly would lift the roof if he could get anything at all from Heat 11. And on the outside, it is Pennell. And there is Pennell. Just look at him relaxing, trying to get himself psyched up for Heat 11. So important, this one. Here we go. And Shearer has not made the start. It's Pennell who's gone away from the outside. Shearer is second. In third place, it is Collins. And the world champion, just as we suspected, would find that extra little bit of oomph just when it counted. He's in front. Shearer, hitherto unbeaten, is in second place. Collins is third. And if they stay this way, we'll bring them back to all square. And here's Pennell. And when he's in front, my word, he's a difficult bloke to catch. Far less bypass. So it's been a match that started so brightly for Coventry. But the Heathens have whittled away at their advantage, and Coventry have had a couple of little slips. I dare say Kevin Hawkins will be regretting his slip, and also the fact that he missed out in this race, and Phil Collins is coming up, and Shearer really has to get waving to avoid giving away a maximum heat win. It's Pennell who wins it. Second place just holding on, Mitch Shearer. Third place Collins, 4-2 heat win for Cradley. There's the progressive scores. It's 33 with 2 to go. It could be better set.
Well, Bruce Pennell, you've just been geeing up your teammates. What did you say to them?
Well, I think they're geeing me up more, Gary. They're holding up really good for us right now. Unfortunately, I dropped a few points in the beginning, but feel a lot better now, and I think that was a vital heat for us.
Well, you did very well there. Take us through the start and tell us how you hit form.
I lifted a little bit out of the start, but I got her back down and then dropped it on Mitch there. Left him plenty of room, and then, like I said, there's not much passing, but I had to get out there, and there's not much I could do to really help Phil back there because I knew Mitch was going really well, and if I start trying to help out Phil, I could have got past myself. So Phil did well where he was at, and it was a good 4-2 points to us anyway.
Well, Grid 1 has only dropped 5 points all night. You've broken the sequence, but you've got Grid 1 in the next heat. So what, do you read anything into that?
Yeah, 1 and 3 are probably the better gates right now. We've got Alan. I've got Alan in my next heat. Hopefully this heat here coming, we can pull something good, because we got Eric and we got Lance, and they're going really good right now, and it looks to be pretty good, but it's too darn close. Yeah, too close.
But you're there level for the first time in the
match.
Yeah,
we're level. We came back pretty strong. I think they had a misfortune last heat, dropping Kevin Hawkins out, losing him, but that's the way it goes.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Well, what's going to happen next? Heat 12. The Heathens have, as we've heard, that vitally important inside grid, and they've got Eric Gunderson therein, and he has only dropped 1 point all night. Next to him, Ollie Olsen in red. Grid 3 has Lance King with 2 points. He's had to work hard for those 2 points, so young Master King. And on the outside, Gary Guglielmi, who has 6 points. Heat 12 could be so important. Neither side can afford to give anything away at all, and a maximum heat win here for either side would really set them into the last heat with their tails well up. So it really is quite absorbing, compelling stuff. Not a lot of passing, it must be said, because these are two super sides, and when these guys of this class get in front, they don't often make mistakes, and we've seen just one mistake really all night from Kevin Hawkins, and it cost him dearly. And we hear an amazing story from the pits that Gunderson is on a borrowed machine. It looks like he's on a borrowed bike, Gunderson. He's on the inside. Next to him in grid 2 is Olsen. Then we have King, and on the outside is Guglielmi. They're awfully impatient to get away. And this time they go. And it is, oh, Gunderson's made a super start. Olsen's in second place. Where is Guglielmi? We'll look for him. He's around the outside. So it's still absolutely level. They're divided. Here goes Gunderson around the bottom corner, and King has come into the picture, and Olsen very sensibly has dropped back to allow Guglielmi into second place, and I'm sure he'll try to shield him and keep out young Lance King, who will bust a gut to try and get by. There's Gunderson in front. And there is the battle for that so important last point, third place points, and King's in trouble. And so too is Olsen. It's just as well that Lance King was in trouble, because Olsen made an awful hash of that pit corner. They're sorting themselves out into the last lap. Gunderson, doesn't seem to matter which bike he's on, he goes like a steam train. He's in front. Second place Guglielmi, third will be Olsen. So they're absolutely all tied up. A win for Gunderson, second place Guglielmi, third is Olsen. And so we're going to have a last heat decider. It's 36 all. Couldn't be better. And there is Lance King, and well, fortune really has favoured Cradley, it must be said, just infinitesimally on the evening. That was a bit of bad luck there. He was in last place, but he was threatening Olsen, and just after his bike gave up the ghost, Olsen made the most appalling mess of the top corner. Let's just watch it again. There's King. See King looking down there, the bike's beginning to go. We follow Gunderson through here. Let's just see if we can see what happened to Ollie Olsen. And Olsen, you can see, he's going roaring out of our picture. And had King been going on all cylinders, I think he might have taken advantage there. But on such moments do results and league championships hinge.
Mitch, it all rests on the last one then.
Yeah. I just banged my knee in my last ride there when I was against Bruce, and I'll have to try and forget about it.
So it's 36-36 going the last heat.
Well, it's a tough one. I mean, we've won matches like this before when we won the league 3 years, you know.
Yes, what a finish. 36 apiece. The lineup for heat 13. Mitch Shearer in red, and he has 8 points. Tommy Knudsen in blue has 4. Bruce Pennell, who's been improving all night, he has 6 points and won his last race quite significantly. And on his inside, we'll have his partner Alan Graham, who also has 6 points. So Coventry have the crucial inside gate, although Pennell made a nonsense of that when he beat Shearer last time out. There is Tommy Knudsen, world number 3 last year, still only 20. He's had an unlucky year really, and a shoulder injury ruined his world championship chances this year. The race then that may well decide the league championship for 1982. Who's it going to be, Coventry or Cradley? Remember, we've only had one maximum heat win all night, 1-5-1. It's been terribly tight. The Heathens have really clawed their way back in here. They might just go in front for the first time, the only time it really counts in the last race. Let's see. Inside then, Knudsen. Interesting that he's taken the inside grid rather than Shearer. Grid 2 has Alan Graham. Grid 3 has Mitch Shearer. And Bruce Pennell here on the outside, and Bruce does like this outside grid, and he did manage to get across everybody in heat 11. Here we go. If Pennell gets away, he'll come across the field. Terribly tight. The crowd really absolutely on their toes. Inside Knudsen, next to him Graham, grid 3, Shearer on the outside. Pennell, who is going to get the vital drop? And they're away, and it is Coventry in front. Shearer leads in second place. It's Knudsen, and Shearer's in trouble, and Pennell has gone through. Pennell going round the outside of Knudsen, and Pennell's gone down, and it is drama of the highest order. Pennell is down, the race is continuing in front. It is Knudsen in second place now, it is Graham in third place, it is Shearer, and the referee has not stopped it, and that is a moment of high drama. Pennell is back on his bike, he's picked himself up, it must be said, gallantly, but surely he can do nothing about the result of this one now. Knudsen leads it, second place is Graham, third is Shearer. And at the back, a long way back, having remounted, is Bruce Pennell. And they're into the last lap. And this is a British league match they're going to be talking about for ages and ages and ages. And Coventry look as though they are going to nick it. Knudsen goes over the line on his back wheel, doing a Pennell. He wins it for Coventry. Second was Graham, third was Shearer. There's the final score. The bees are raising the roof. But my word, we're going to be talking about this last heat 13 for a long, long time to come. Well, there is Pennell going back to the pits, not looking at all happy with life. And the Coventry team are waiting for Tommy Knudsen. And he is going to get the traditional victory bump. Up he goes, we're loving every minute of this. And in the midst of all the celebrations, you have to commiserate with Cradley. They really have made a tremendous match. Here's Gary Newborn in the thick of the action.
What a match.
Well, you got it right again, Ollie.
I told you. It must be you, Gary, that brings us a luck. As you know, we've had a couple of talks before the World Championships. I won 2 individual titles through that. So can you come a bit more often? But it was a great match, and hard luck for Bruce, but he tried very hard. It's one of them things you've got to go for.
The atmosphere here is tremendous tonight. It's always a great match, Coventry against Cradley, but this really has set this meeting alight, hasn't it, a finish like this?
That's right, but it's a good stadium here. We've got a good promotion, you know, that really runs a fantastic show, and it's looking after the boys in fair in every way, and that makes them go for it. Because on paper, I think our team is a bit weaker than theirs at the moment, but it was just a thrill to win. It was great, really great, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, you're throwing Tommy Knudsen up in the air there, so this result really is important to you, Ollie.
Very important, and any result that Coventry get is important to me, but also those individual boys like Tommy Knudsen and Eric Gunderson, who are tremendous young kids, you know. It means a lot to me when they're doing well. And Mid Shearer, really, who had all the aggro at the start of the year, has come through and more or less won the match for us here tonight.
He's had a great night, but you really do like beating Cradley as well.
Oh yeah, we like beating anybody, but Cradley, well, they are top of the tree, so they're the ones. I remember when we were the top, and it was always very important to beat us everywhere, so you can be assured they like to beat us as well.
I tell you what, you're always in the middle of the drama, aren't you, Ollie? Somewhere
well,
along
that's
the line.
right. A newspaper boy once says to me, he says, we ain't going to the world final now because you either fall off or you win it, so there's nothing to write about now.
Ollie, well done. Congratulations to Coventry. Great
Thanks.
meeting. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
indeed.
Gary.
Thank you. Well, Ollie Olsen said it all there, except the final score, which was Coventry 40 points, Cradley 38. What a finish. I'm sure you enjoyed it. For now, goodbye.